My amplified unit, top of the morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you guys are in the world, salute. As you guys know, BC has been under the weather all week, but it's been a week where there's been one huge pro wrestling story after another, whether it's McMahon returning to WWE, Mandy Rose losing her title after 413 days and then immediately getting released by the company. Monday Night Raw scoring their lowest rating of all time. One story after another. And it turns out that yelling and screaming and staying amplified in these videos and live streams, it doesn't get you better. I have learned that lesson. But we're passionate about our pro wrestling, man. There was no other way that I would have done these videos this last week and these live streams, and you guys have just been kicking ass, man. Staying just as amplified with BC, which just made me more amplified, and that's what made this just an incredible week of content. You guys just absolutely crushed every video, every live stream. We got 100 plus new subscribers this week, which the tube never really likes to promote my content because it's too controversial. But some way people ended up finding the channel and enjoyed it and jumped on board, and that's awesome. If you want to take that respect and that amplification to the next level, there will be memberships, hopefully today, guys. Maybe by the time that you guys see this vid, memberships to the channel will be up live, and you guys can go from the red team to gold status. It's amplified gold. That's what our membership is going to be to the amplified unit. Special shout outs, your name up on every video, and special live streams just for members. So it's pretty cool, man. Gold status. That'll be coming up. Hopefully we can get that up by the end of the day. But and by the way, a super thank you to Adam Caraxon, that $9.99 on yesterday's one of the recent videos. Adam Caraxon, maybe it was after the live stream was put out last night, the breaking news with Mandy Rose. We covered that shit better than anybody in the community, but we shouldn't be shocked. Adam Caraxon showing that love, and a super thanks down below, throwing BC some coffees, or as I've been calling them, some teas. Never needed, always appreciated. Adam, I appreciate that super thanks, dude. This vid, we're going to talk some AEW Dynamite. Winter is coming for 12/14/22. One of the biggest upsets in 30 years. You guys know what I'm talking about. Nearly 30 years ago, the 1-2-3 Kid defeated Razor Ramon on a Monday Night Raw. Nearly 3 decades later, wow, what a moment involving Chris Jericho last night. The action. If you know, you know. We're going to get to that. The best of 7 series with the Elite. And MJF's first big title defense against Ricky Starks. How did that go? How did it end? We'll go over all of that coming up. We're also going to talk about fucking Booker T. Absolutely body slamming a booking botch by Triple Paul Levesque H. That's right. Paul Triple H Levesque. Is that a better way to say it? 3 H's. That's why we call him 3 H's. Much more simple. Booker T is not a fan of a recent decision that H made, and he made no fucking bones about it. And it's on his own NXT show with some tried and true veterans. I'm talking about the New Day, and Booker T is not fucking having it. And he expressed his true words, and I gotta believe there's some type of punishment coming by 3 H's to Booker T. We're gonna talk all about that coming up. But first, we have to have that. There's a lot of updates coming in, man, and we're trying to cipher through the legitimacy of all of these new updates with Mandy Rose and her dropping of the title out of the blue, rushed this past Tuesday night for NXT on the USA Network, and that did pull in a ratings pop. They gained 132,000 viewers from the week previous, which was 534,000 viewers. This week, they pulled in 666,000 viewers. So Mandy Rose and Roxy was a big rating smash. The overall ratings isn't nothing to really throw a parade about, but when you gain 132,000 viewers from the week previous, that's a huge score. So Mandy Rose and Roxy absolutely delivered, not just in the ring, but ratings-wise. But it was rushed instead of the next big event. It was rushed to this past Tuesday, and fans were like, what the fuck? Maybe they're just going for a ratings pop. No, it's because Shawn Michaels wanted to get the title off of her, and then she was immediately fired, released from the company. Now we have a lot more details coming in, and you ain't gonna believe this shit. But it looks to be accurate, all of this new info. Are you ready? I say we get right into all the new information that we know on the morning after. And it is some bizarre shit. So here it is. First and foremost, it was not. I'm still on the fence, right? I just didn't believe it was Paul Triple H Levesque. I didn't believe it was 3 H's that made this call on his own. I thought it was more Stephanie McMahon. This seems like something Stephanie would get wind of, the type of content that Mandy was putting up on these third-party sites. And Stephanie, who, a mother who's got these daughters, and she's like, no, absolutely not. That is not representing our fucking company. That is not going to be the one on our posters, on our trucks, on our billboards. It ain't going to happen. On our pay-per-view vignettes. So I thought it was more Stephanie rather than Paul Levesque. Turns out, man, you guys ready for this? Now, this is from Melty Boy, by the way, so take it with a grain of salt, but it explains some type of... It gives us some type of insight as to how this rash decision could be made on the drop of a dime. And this is what Melty Boy has to say in the latest that we are hearing. Again, BC is going to find out more confirmation for you guys, but this is what Melty Boy says. And when you hear when you hear Melty Boy start any report off with "I guess," that should tell you something. But this is what Melty says: I guess there was a meeting, and Matt Bloom brought to Shawn Michaels these pictures and what Mandy Rose was posting on this third-party site, and showed Michaels some of the stuff that she was putting on this subscription service. Meltzer goes on to say that Matt Bloom told Shawn Michaels what was on this subscription service, and Shawn Michaels immediately was like, we've got to get the title off of her. Immediately. So they switched up the whole show. They got the title off of her and immediately knew that they had to release her when she got back through the curtain. Then, of course, right after they got the title from her, they fired her, is what Melty Boy says in a quote. Melty says that the feeling was that they way crossed the line, and they believed they had absolutely no choice but to get rid of her in that situation. So, as much as it's Melty, and you take it with a grain of salt, this could very well have been a Shawn Michaels decision, and would back up what H has said in the past, or Shawn Michaels has admitted. Shawn Michaels has no reason to lie. Everybody thinks that Bruce Pritchard had a big role in NXT for a while, and Shawn Michaels was like, guys, he's never even been here. Like, this has always been me. It's amazing how much heat Bruce Pritchard gets when I make a decision. It's all on me. If you like it, it's me. If you don't, it's me. I have no reason to stick up for Bruce Pritchard or back him up. But it's me, guys. It has nothing to do with Bruce. And Bruce Pritchard actually said that too. He's like, I don't know how I get so much heat on NXT. I do nothing with them. It's just hilarious. And still to this day, people don't want to believe it. They're like, nope, it's Bruce. Even recently, Regal was talking about somebody who he just couldn't stand down there. He would literally call them an idiot to their face. And people thought it was Bruce, and they were like, "Oh, it's got to be Bruce." I mean, it's obviously he's talking about Bruce. But when Sean said he doesn't have nothing to do with NXT, Bruce said he has nothing to do with NXT. Nobody in NXT for years now, whoever in this last 5 to 10 year time frame, nobody has been able to confirm that Bruce Pritchard has even ever been there, much less have anything to do with it. Nobody has ever had a story about Bruce Pritchard, but yet there's some people in the community that really think Bruce has a hand in NXT. Everybody has debunked that. And Regal said this, if people just listen to the whole interview that Regal cut, he says in the interview, he says, somebody who's no longer there anymore. And then he goes on to proceed to say how he called them an idiot to their face. That's obviously John Laurinaitis, guys. But Bruce Pritchard gets all this fucking heat. Anyway, my point is, Shawn Michaels, he comes out and he says things like, Bruce Pritchard has nothing to do with NXT, nor has he. It's all me. And then in an interview months later, when Triple H, many months later, after, not many, but it's when Triple H got all this control, he said, it's amazing. People don't understand how much I actually have control of NXT. Triple H barely checks in on me. He says he just lets me do my thing. So my point is, guys, that Shawn Michaels has no reason to bullshit anybody. Shawn Michaels is not the type of guy that would give a fuck. This is something that could absolutely be 100% true, that this was a Shawn Michaels decision. And when he's a man of the Lord now, and even though he used to live that life back in the day, he's a very structured guy now, and who's got a daughter, maybe daughters of his own. And maybe this type of content? Absolutely not. And Shawn Michaels may have absolutely made this decision on his own. Take the title, inform Paul Levesque that she is gone, and told Levesque to make sure the paperwork is filed. This absolutely could have been a Shawn Michaels decision. So that's a huge development. What Meltsy Boy is claiming, I would like to get more insight. I would like to know exactly where, if not who the source was, where the source is coming from. Obviously somebody in WWE. But is this a trust? Is this what other people are hearing? Is a Sean Ross backing this story up, for instance, or somebody else reputable? I'm going to do my research for you guys. But this could absolutely, even though it's Meltsy Boy, it could hold weight. It sounds like something Michaels would do, actually, with the way he carries out his life now. Also, guys, some more developing details. Tino Sabatelli, who is the fiance of Mandy Rose, has broken his silence. Tino, who is obviously, and I'll get the fucking quote for you too, by the way. Tino says this, she's still the baddest bitch ever, in capital letters, ever. Still the baddest bitch ever in this game, period. That's all he said. In other words, anything that WWE does to her is not going to change the point that she's the baddest bitch ever in this game, period. That's what Tino says. I don't know about that. Much love and respect to Mandy Rose, how she reinvented herself, how she became a star. Even before she went to NXT, the whole storyline with Sonya Deville and Otis and Dolph Ziggler, I was loving that shit. And it showed that she can hang, man. Mandy Rose isn't just a cute face from 2015's Tough Enough. And she just got hired because of the cute face. I mean, well, maybe that's the case, but she showcased that she's more than that. Obviously her looks probably had a great deal, especially back in 2015, of why she got hired. But she went out and proved that she's not just a pretty face. And she busted her fucking ass the past couple of years. And this last year, she put on a career-defining performance that I'm pretty sure any female in wrestling would love to have that type of year, to be a champion for 413 days, to put together pretty solid performance after pretty solid performance consistently, and to head a group like Toxic Attraction that's pretty fucking badass and was talked about throughout the wrestling world. That's a career-defining year. So Mandy Rose should be proud of herself for what she has been able to accomplish, all the hard work she put in, and WWE allowed it to happen, no doubt. They gave her the wheel, and said, we're going to put the gasoline in, we're going to change the oil, we'll rotate the tires, you just drive the fucking vehicle. And together, we're going to make you a star, and we're going to make something special here. Everybody came together to make this work, and it is shocking that it all fell apart like that because of some third-party bullshit. Now, that leads me to some more details, and these are kind of disturbing. Some people might look at it as. Now, BC thought it was just some pics or whatever, right? Some pics on a third-party site, in which case Vince McMahon and WWE have no room to talk because you have sexualized these girls from the beginning of time. How many times, dude? We talked about the Sable thing with Jacqueline. Remember the bikini contest from years and years ago that Jerry Lawler was a host of? Middle of the ring on a pay-per-view. And Sable takes off her shirt, and there's nothing covering it but paint. Painted hands on her fucking bare chest, and everybody was loving it. That's what Vince was doing. He was sexualized. Sunny, remember Sunny Days? They just told Athena, remember Ember Moon? They told Ember Moon to be more sexy type, dress more sexy like Mandy Rose. So they go and sexualize these women, and then when they go and make their own money that WWE does not profit from, WWE throws a fucking fit. WWE doesn't like when they don't profit from something like a third-party site. No, they want to make the money. It's all good when they're cutting deals with Playboy to have their wrestlers go there. WWE got a fat cut out of all those Playboy magazines. That either, I don't know, did Stacy Keibler do it? Tori Wilson, fucking Sable, all of them. They got a cut out of that. This way, with the third-party site, WWE gets not a dime. They get pissed off with that shit. But they sexualize their females for how long? That's what they've always done. And now when they go and make fucking sexy pictures or whatever, you're going to throw a fit? So I thought it was just pictures. I did see a video where she was in the pool and her girls are just hanging out. There's nothing covering them. There's maybe a quarter of an inch of water over them, but you can pretty much see fucking nip and everything. You see it all. And I'm like, whoa, that's a little risque for a WWE star possibly. Maybe they got pissed at that. But the newest details, guys, get this. And I didn't see this footage, so you guys can tell me if this is accurate or not. Maybe you don't want to research this. I don't know, man. But I'm hearing that there's video or content of Mandy actually fingering herself and getting off on herself. I hear there is content where she is either riding or simulating that she's riding Tino's fucking eggplant. Is that the fucking emoji? Literally, like there's a video or there's content where she's like simulating riding, or maybe she's actually fucking her fiance on camera. I don't know. This is what I'm hearing from many people, that this is the type of content that was being posted, and she's getting like fucked in the shower or some shit. And I'm like, okay, hold up. That could be crossing the line when you're working with a company like WWE that does have so many sponsors, and they really cannot, I should say, have like that type of shit. Like if you're just gonna post your fucking body in your birthday suit, that's one thing. But if you're just gonna be fucking on camera and your fans just stumble across it, right? I mean, that's probably gonna be a parent's worst nightmare. If a parent's kid fucking stumbles upon fucking Mandy's titties, all right, fuck, the mom's gonna yell a little bit. Don't go on there. The dad's gonna be like, yeah, I'll shut the computer. You know what I mean? And then we'll call it a day. But if a parent is coming across their kid fucking literally catching, their favorite wrestlers fucking, I mean, are we crossing a line at that point, guys? I say, can we, instead of releasing Mandy, can we just have a talk? Because Mandy's not going to take down the site. In fact, Mandy broke her silence last night. Mandy said, thank you guys for all the support. By the way, the page is still up. So she is remaining defiant like Paige was back in the day with the Twitch thing back in the day. Last year, I think it was. 2 years ago, something like that. Mandy is remaining defiant. She's making big-time main roster money, we're hearing, from this subscription service. And she is not going to take it down. So my thing is, can you meet in the middle? Right? WWE does have sponsors. WWE has people they have to work with. You can't just have your wrestlers fucking on camera and that leaking out all the time. So what if you meet in the middle? Let her have her site. If she wants to post fucking nude photos and shit, that's her prerogative. You had your wrestlers doing Playboy, or at least you signed off on it, and you even profited off your female performers doing Playboy back in the day. It's okay when WWE's making money, but of course, when they're not, it's a big deal. Let them do that, but maybe cut a deal where tell Mandy, can you please just not do the fucking content? Can you not even simulate like you're fucking your fiance on camera? Can you not get fucked in the shower? Can you not finger yourself? Or can it at least be a fucking photo of it? And like the actual thing is like maybe blurred, a little bit. I mean, do you actually got to post a fucking video of it? Maybe not do that, right? I understand it's a publicly traded company. It does have a kid fan base. It has a fan base of all ages. I understand that this could be an absolute dire situation for a company like WWE to have its champion just posting shit like that. And so I understand. So can we meet in the middle, right? Have her keep her page. You can post all the nudes you want. Let's hope they don't leak out, for younger fans and shit and parents to flip out over. But can you not fuck? Does it have to be fucking porn or simulated porn that you're putting up? Let's not do that, man. Because, yeah, I understand. You can't put a title on them at that point. Or it'd be hard to, Can we come to an agreement? I think there's no reason that Mandy should have been released here. If you just have an adult conversation and try to meet in the middle. I still feel that you're going to see Mandy Rose in the 2023 Royal Rumble. When she comes back, she'll be on the main roster. She'll probably be in the Royal Rumble. I think they're going to solve this, guys. I really do. And it's interesting because I talked about this yesterday during the live stream, and I had you guys look this up for me. And I was interested to see if Mandy Rose was still on the active public roster sheet, because this will tell you a lot on if the final paperwork was put in. So if you don't mind, what I'm doing right now is I'm actually checking that for you guys. I'm doing the work for you guys, man. I want to see if Mandy Rose is still on this sheet. You know what? Last night, you guys told me she was. Right now, I am not seeing. Did they take her off? Oh, you know what? No, Mandy Rose is still on the public active sheet, which means the release has not fully gone through yet for sure, because legally you got to take them off. Same thing I say about Sasha and Naomi. I always tell you guys that. That's why, if you're ever wondering if they're still somehow contracted WWE, yeah, they're still on the active public legal roster sheet. You can get sued if you're on a public sheet like this and WWE is promoting you as a wrestler. So Mandy Rose is still on that shit as of the early morning, on this Thursday early morning, 12/15/22. So, and WWE has yet to release an official statement as of the recording, the making of this video. WWE has yet to release an official statement, guys. So here we are the next morning. She's still on the roster page. WWE has not released a statement. Again, maybe this was Shawn Michaels flipping the fuck out, telling H, I want this done now. H made that knee-jerk reaction. Stephanie signed off for some shit, but they have not finalized the paperwork. Maybe they are going to get together as adults and try to work through this. Keep your fucking page, post your nudity. Fucking, you got some beautiful girls. Show the world. We won't profit off of it. That sucks, but okay. Just don't fucking, don't make it straight porn. I think that's, guys, as much as we give WWE shit, I think that's a good compromise. Keep your page, make your money, post your nudes. Just don't make it porn. Please. WWE, I think that, guys, that's pretty honorable, right? Just don't fucking make it porn. So again, I don't even know, what type of content she's posting, but from many, many people that I've seen have reported that it's that type of content. Like, it's very, very risky. And that could become, guys, a liability for a company. I hope you guys understand that. And I destroyed WWE last night in the live stream. And I told everybody how easy it is to blame Mandy for this release. But just know that WWE is the root of the problem because they call them independent contractors, yet they try to treat them like they're employees. That's bullshit. But I would urge you guys to just think about it as well as, you know, at some point you could become a liability. I mean, at that point, they don't even know what you're fucking posting, and you're just getting more and more risky, we're hearing. She doesn't want to take shit down. Man, if you're a publicly traded company like that, I think a compromise, man. Let's just make too much work has been put in. I'm going to leave it like this before we go on to the next subject. Booker T, it's slamming Paul Triple H Levesque 3 H's, but I'm going to leave it like this. Everybody has worked too damn hard for so damn long to make Mandy Rose this fucking star. Mandy has put in the work, put in the effort, put in the time, put in the passion, put in everything it takes to put herself in that position. WWE has worked their asses off to fucking create that star. This is something that the company never does. Create stars. They did with Mandy. And in one fucking night, it all came tumbling down. And she's released in the blink of an eye. It doesn't seem right. It doesn't feel right. And I hope that adults get around a fucking table and make it right. There's no reason Mandy Rose should be out of WWE. And lost in all of this, overshadowing, is my girl Roxy's title victory. Because I got to give her another round of applause. Roxanne Perez. We're always going to call her Roxy. If you know, you know. Roxy is more than deserving of this. And I hate the word deserve because we say that as wrestling fans for everybody these days. And people go, BC, Roxy just got there. What do you mean she deserves? Because this woman is just badass to the fucking core. Her basic fundamentals of pro wrestling were instilled, it would seem, 15 years before she was fucking born. She just gets it. She's so good. She's all in with this shit. If anybody is going to hold your title and she's going to be a reliability for you and your promotion, it's Roxy. She started the year off holding an ROH championship. She ends the year holding an NXT championship. She's just a champion in life. Roxy is that motherfucker, and I cannot be more proud of her. And it sucks that it's overshadowed by all this news. So that's the latest, guys. I know that's a lot of information coming out about Rose. I'm sure we're going to get a lot more as well, and BC will be breaking it to you and giving it to you like only fucking BC can give you his takes. You know, with the most facts that we have present, with the most amplified truth imaginable being dropped. Now, moving on, guys, I would love to talk about Booker T because this is absolutely fascinating. Now, last week on NXT programming, Pretty Deadly was defeated by the New Day to become new tag team champions. And everybody said, well, it's just for, you know, them to have the most title reigns or to be the Grand Slam tag team champions and hold them all. Or everybody's coming up with excuses. I think anybody at the end of the day knows this was a booking. But what the fuck is the New Day showing up to NXT when Paul Levesque himself said that you have to look at NXT like the college program to the NFL? What college is to the NFL, that's basically NXT. That's what Triple H said when asked about him getting his ass whooped by AEW. And he laughed it off and said, congratulations, you beat our developmental. And then he went on this whole tirade about how NXT is like college football to the NFL. And then all of a sudden, you got guys like fucking Apollo showing up. You got guys like New Day showing up to NXT. And so many others over the weeks. And you're thinking to yourself, I mean, Reggie shows up. And you're thinking to yourself, how many times do you see college players go to the NFL and then go back to college football? It doesn't happen. Ever. That's not how it works. Why the fuck are they going to the main roster just to go back to NXT when you, Triple H, you literally said it's a developmental system? Who the fuck is getting developed if the New Day is holding your fucking tag titles? Apollo, WWE main roster talent at one point, is taking on your world champion. Who the fuck got developed in that process? So we all knew that the New Day showing up was awkward as fuck. Tell me you don't have anything for us without actually telling us you don't have anything for us. That's what WWE did with the New Day on the main roster. I told you guys for years, New Day is stale as fuck. If it's not a New Day versus Usos match, they're lost. They don't know what to do with them. I said so long, they just break them up and leave them apart. And every time they do something apart, they come right back together. When Big E lost his fucking title stupidly, he should have never lost that shit, but when he did, they quietly brought him to the blue brand. What brand split? He was on the red brand. They brought him to the blue brand just so he could reconnect and become a New Day member. They didn't even give Big E a fucking chance. Took his title like that, and then they brought him over to the fucking... They had him get beat by Roman Reigns. Then fucking, what was it? Brock? Brock took it, right? He got beat by Roman. I think it was Brock that took it. And then they quietly said, thanks for your services. Go be a New Day member again. Flip some pancakes. They just bring them back together. And it's stale. I don't know how people can get excited to see the New Day anymore. It's sad. I like Kofi. I actually like Xavier. They get it. Big E is just one of my favorites. So they show up on NXT, and it's just so awkward. And Booker T caught a lot of hate because after New Day wins the titles, if you listen to commentary, right when they get the 3 count and the New Day becomes champ, you hear Booker T audibly on commentary go, oh, hell no. Not in the Stone Cold voice, that Booker voice. I'm under the weather. I can't really do it. I can hit a Booker better when I'm not under the weather. But he just says, oh, hell no. Booker was outraged. He took a lot of heat for that shit. But, guys, I got to be honest. He's not actually wrong here, man. I'm going to tell you guys exactly what he said in a quote, if I may, because I could never paraphrase this and actually do it justice. So, this is what Booker said. I think this was on his podcast. And I quote, they should have won, of course. They were the most experienced team out there. One guy, he's meaning Kofi here, was a former WWE champion. One guy was an 11-time tag team champion, Xavier. These guys, they never should have been in that match. He says... hold on. He says, and I quote, Pretty Deadly should have never been in the ring with a team like the New Day. It should have been with someone in NXT, an even challenge. As far as I'm concerned, that was an illegitimate win for the New Day. They should reverse it. It's almost like a pro team, their playbook, taking on a high school team or a college team in their playbook. End quote. He literally called out Triple H's own words. You said we're college to the NFL, yet you brought an NFL team to take on a college or even a high school team. That was his words, man. This is Booker says. Pretty Deadly should have never been in that match. As far as I'm concerned, It's not an even challenge. That was an illegitimate win for the New Day. They should reverse it. It's like a pro team in their playbook taking on a high school team or even a college team in their playbook. He's calling out Triple H by his own words. How the fuck are they even in this match? And what does it do for Pretty D? It doesn't do anything for them. They just got beat flat on their backs by a team that obviously is going to win. So you squash this team out for what? Another team in the future to try to get a rub by beating the New Day? And then it's a vicious circle. Well, the New Day now are the kings of a small pond. And then one day soon they're going to have to get beat by kids in this small pond and make the New Day look like chumps. Do you play hot potato and it's just to get it back to Pretty D? None of it makes sense. Booker T gets a lot of heat, but he's right in this situation, man. Paul Levesque needs to know that's a booking botch. Now, I know Shawn Michaels is running on why this is a Paul Levesque botch, guys, is because obviously Paul Levesque is the one who told H, they're going down there, bro. Or if even Michael said, hey, can we have the New Day? I have an idea. H is the one who says, well, it looks like here we have nothing for them. Absolutely. We got no fucking plans for the New Day. Of course you can have them in NXT as your champions. Take them for as long as you want. Do you want Ricochet? Do you want Bobby Lashley? Do you want Dolph Ziggler? Do you want fucking Austin Theory? You can have him with the U.S. title. We don't have plans for anybody. Have you ever seen a Monday Night Raw? We have nothing. Thank goodness SmackDown has Bray Wyatt and Roman Reigns, Sami Zayn, because otherwise that show would have nothing. I don't know how much longer SmackDown can carry the whole fucking company, by the way. Because that's what's happening. SmackDown is carrying the whole company. It has been. There comes a time when you're carrying all the weight on your back that your back is going to break. That's what's going to happen to SmackDown soon, man. Anyway, Booker T, man, leveling that decision. And I'm just boggled by that. I truly am. I just don't see how that can even happen. I don't. Paul Levesque, Michael Higginbottom, who's Shawn Michaels, whoever, they come together and they finalize this. You can't make this up. I mean, New Day winning the NXT tag titles to close out the NXT year. It's just a booking botch. There's no way around it, guys. No, man, I'm not even... I just got word. Charlotte Flair's return is imminent. Oh, but we know. Trust me. We've been talking about it. We know it's imminent. Just as the Royal Rumble is imminent, we know about Charlotte's return. We know. Dun, dun, dun. Guys, AEW Dynamite last night. 12/14/22. Winter is coming. It actually is. It's, 6 days away? Fridays? I think it's next Wednesday, right? The 21st, I believe. Maybe it's the 20th. Winter is definitely coming. And this was a big event for AEW because they had Ricky Starks going up against MJF for the championship. And this show started off with Death Triangle defeating the Elite. So Death Triangle goes up 3-1 now. Post-match, they used that hammer again, by the way. So post-match, Omega says, and I quote, I'm not as good as throwing down the hammer as you guys. I'm like, you don't want to admit that, bro. I can take on a whole nother realm. He says, we're not as good as throwing down the hammer as you guys, but I got an idea. Since you like using the hammer, why don't we make it let's make that legal in our next match. In fact, they make it, I believe it's like a no DQ, anything goes type of match the next time they meet. Triangle versus Elite. It's winner, that's it. Winner, you're fucking done for the Elite. So they're going to just up the ante a little bit, and the Triangle loves the idea, so that's what they're going to do for the next match. But for this one, the Elite does drop the match. The best part about this for BC, I don't like these best of 7 things because it's, you try to treat it like a real sport. It's scripted, man. It's predetermined. How many times do you see the same match? Because then you start seeing the same sequences. I will say this, though. There is a little bit of there is several kind of mini stories within this, The fact that they're always using this hammer leading into this anything goes now type match. The down to 3-1. You really feel the emotion with the Elite losing these matches. I don't know. What I'm saying is I'm not going to totally bash this because there is some entertainment within this. Not just the action, not just the in-ring, right? I mean, that's entertaining in its own right. I'm not a big fan of schmaz matches. I'm not a fan of 6-mans, trios matches. But I'm just not going to bash this. They've been entertaining, actually. I'm not saying I would ever book best of 7 matches or tournaments like we do left and right these days. But they've been actually entertaining for BC. The best part about this was Roundtable Rock, the old NBA on NBC theme song. Tony Khan bought the rights and they used it throughout the fucking night. That brought BC back to the Chicago Bulls beating the fuck out of my New York Knicks. Sadly, I can't tell you how many tears were shed back in the day. We would have had multiple championships, my New York Knicks, if it wasn't for Michael fucking Jordan and the Bulls. But I always remember I'd be on the fucking I'd be on the floor in anticipation, nervous as fuck, watching my Knicks. And that song would start the fucking game. You shouldn't be beatboxing or doing instrumentals when you're under the weather. I had to get a swig of coffee. I should have a fucking tea right now. I had to do a coffee break there. And by the way, it's round ball rock. I don't know if I said round table. Like a round. The round table should be fucking Mandy Rose and WWE officials working this thing out right now. That should be the round table. Round ball rock is the song. Just Google NBA on NBC theme song, and you guys will fucking get it. Or here on the tube. That song is what we grew up on. People that watched NBA back in the day when you were kids, growing, whatever the fuck, that's the song that, I mean, you knew shit was about to hit the fan. Those playoffs, man, when basketball was at its peak. Bulls, Knicks, Pacers, Celtics, Larry Bird, fucking Reggie Miller. Forget about it. Patrick Ewing, Michael Jordan, Dennis Rodman, Scottie Pippen, Charles Barkley, and that theme song. Anyway, my point is, Tony Khan, he said, you know what? I'm going to buy the rights to this shit for this best of 7. And they played that. That was just monumental for BC. I can't tell you how that just brought me back. And Tony Khan earned some fucking brownie points with BC here. But Elite does go down 3-1. Next up was Jeff Jarrett, Jay Lethal, and Satnam Singh taking out the Acclaimed. Mid-rap, by the way. The Acclaimed is doing their fucking rap, and they just get taken out. Caster gets Jarrett's guitar to the dome piece. And Jarrett says, yo. He keeps saying, yo. And BC was about to lose his shit if Jeff Jarrett looks at Caster and goes, yo, listen. I would have lost my shit, but he just kept saying, yo. And then he says, listen up, bitch. Scissor this, slap nuts. I still LOL'd at that. Jeff Jarrett has been phenomenal so far. I know people don't want to hear that. People don't give a shit about Jarrett. He's playing this pretty fucking good. Of course, I'm biased anyway. Jay Lethal is just one of my favorite dudes in the business. One of my favorite pro wrestlers. Just seeing him get some fucking airtime. But Jarrett has been hilarious in his promos as of late, man. Since he's gotten AEW, where he says, yo, listen up, bitch. Scissor this, slap nuts. After he put a guitar over his dome piece. I don't know. I fucking LOL'd at it. But then again, I'm under the weather, so maybe I'm not thinking clearly. I don't know how you guys feel about that. This could be, I mean, does Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal win the tag titles over the Acclaimed when FTR couldn't even do it? I don't know, man. FTR remains one of the worst booked talents in AEW, and that's astonishing to say because they've held 3 different sets of titles the entire year. Yet in AEW, Tony Khan just does not know how to promote them. Well, on ROH, they had good matches with the Briscoes, and you love the Briscoes, BC. I do. And I did see the match, by the way. And I knew it was phenomenal, as everybody said it was. I caught it later than everyone else. So I'm not shocked at that. But in AEW, in front of an AEW audience, FTR has been miserably, pathetically booked, sadly. Because there's been 3 times where they had all the momentum in the world, and Tony Khan made sure. It's almost like he went out of his way to sabotage the momentum they had in AEW. I don't know what the fuck they did with FTR, and now it looks like Jarrett and Lethal are going to be going for those titles. We'll see. Brian Cage, The Machine. The Machine was defective last night. The Machine needs oiling because the Machine was defeated by a boy from the jungle, Mr. Jack Perry. Post-match, Jungle Boy says, and I quote, I just beat Luchasaurus at Full Gear. I just beat Brian Cage now. I want the biggest bitch of them all. Get out here, Bill. I love that line. So Big Bill, Will Morrissey, for those that don't know who Big Bill is, he hits ringside with Lee Moriarty, and they put a beating on the boy from the jungle. Hook returns here. Hook hits the ring on Dynamite for the save for the boy from the jungle. So Hook extends his hand and helps Jungle Boy up, and they kind of look at each other like, all right, big fucking Bill Morrissey and Moriarty versus us. I don't know. That doesn't get BC as excited, but Hook got a great fucking pop. People love Jungle Boy, as does BC. I'm willing to see where it goes. House of Black then defeat The Factory pretty quickly, too, by the way. Malachi delivers Black Mass to QT Marshall to finish the job. Julia Hart was the best part about this. Beginning of the match, Julia Hart, they're all dressed in black, and she gives a little bit of a fucking smile, a little smirk, if you will, a little grin, and then she just spews that black mist into the eyes of Camarado, and that pretty much takes him fucking... It just takes him out right from the jump to assure that he's a non-factor, right? Take him completely out of the equation. So I hope people don't think it's too voodoo-y, you know. No, oh my God, they're all dressed in black and they can teleport. When it goes dark, they show up in the ring, and Julia's got mystical black mist, right? Because people today don't like supernatural. It's ruining wrestling, I'm told. So hopefully... House of Black doesn't get fucking crushed for this, because I fucking loved it. I thought they looked badass. All in the black. Julia looked great. The smile, the fucking spewing of the black. I loved it. Loved it. Just like I loved Asuka in that blue fucking mist taking out Dominic. And Dominic after the fucking... afterwards in the trainer's room. Dominic's like, my eyes, I can't see. He's yelling at the doctor. Do you even know how to do your job? All of Judgment Day is yelling at the doctor. Dominic can't see. That was hilarious. That was fucking comedy gold, man. And it all started with Asuka. So I love that shit, man. So that was the best part. And it's good to see House of Black. Finally, it looks like, even though they're still in these 6-man shit, it looks like they're finally being booked at least better, right? They're looking more dominant. They're looking like people we can finally give a fuck about, because we've always wanted to. The promoter just has to give us the reason. Give us that first notch that we can latch onto, and then we can give a fuck. Up next, this was the best part, man. Action Andretti. That's right. There's a wrestler called Action Andretti, and he defeats Chris Jericho. Bro! Crowd was so hot in this match. It was almost like, even if Jericho was supposed to win, you kind of knew Jericho would be like, audible. We're calling an audible. You're winning. I think the plan all along was for Action to win anyway. But I think Jericho would have called an audible. That's how hot this crowd was, guys. There was a point in this match where Jericho is just laying in fierce chops. I mean, he is taking Action Andretti out of pro wrestling, it would seem, with these chops. And there was a point where Action was able to get his boot up and then return fire and start leveling some chops in on Jericho. The crowd at this point is at a peak max in popness, and Jericho shuts him up with a poke to the eyes. Pure fucking classical vintage Jericho. Classic vintage heel work and beautiful storytelling within a match. The in-ring psychology was fucking perfect, and this is what BC means. You don't have to do flips and dives and put your life on the line just to get a pop from the crowd. Go back and listen to this match. Watch this match. The poke to the eyes after just chops. Chops and a poke to the eye, and the crowd went through every fucking emotion within that 10 seconds. That's what we mean about in-ring psychology, storytelling in the match, letting shit breathe. You don't got to risk your life. You don't have to have a gymnastic circus fest where we can't even keep pace with the wrestlers because everybody is not selling shit, getting right back up after fucking 15 Canadian destroyers just to set up for somebody else's move. Then they have to get right back up so they can set up for their move. A sequence just like that. Jericho laying in with these chops. Reversal chops by Action. Poke to the eyes. Crowd was hot. Crowd's going, oh, fuck you. Every emotion. It was fucking beautiful, man. I cannot tell you how fucking happy BC was to just see those type of sequences. And the crowd loving every second of it and hanging on every fucking move. Every motion, every movement, the crowd was hanging on it. I mean, that's just wrestling, man. That's just wrestling. It would end up being a tilt-a-whirl DDT that shook Jericho. It was ugly. You could even say botched. But it was a tilt-a-whirl DDT. Action is pretty much just spinning around fucking Jericho's dome piece. And it's supposed to be like a DDT. It's more like Jericho just got a little dizzy by seeing Action like rolling around his head. And then fucking Jericho just kind of does a little bit of a somersault. Just rolls on the mat. Not even a DDT. And he's just like out of it. And then you have like a standing moonsault. Or a running moonsault, I should say. And that's it. 1, 2, 3. Jericho is defeated. You could say it's such a shitty ending, I understand. With such a hot crowd and with that type of finish, you would hope that the ending sequence and the ending move was going to be a little bit hotter. It was a little odd because the Tilt-A-Whirl DDT was so strange. But technically, you can get away with it with the story that getting spun 30 times at ROH Final Battle by Claudio, this dude is still dizzy. It's only been a few fucking days. He's still fucking dizzy and nauseous from that shit. So when he saw Action Andretti Tilt-A-Whirl DDTing, and then he flips him upside down, Jericho was like fucking lost. Then he gets the moonsault and he can't fucking recoup. So BC is actually I'm connecting the fucking dots from ROH and what Claudio did to him. 30 fucking spins, tapping out while he's spitting. And then how he lost this with the Tilt-A-Whirl DDT. I mean, the last thing that Jericho wants to do is spin himself or somebody spinning around his face. So I just love, guys. This was nearly 30 days. 30 days. Wow, I wish, man. Have Razor back 30 days ago. 30 years. Nearly 30 years ago is when the 1, 2, 3 kid, Sean Waltman, X-Pac, defeated Razor Ramon Scott Hall. I believe that was May of 93. So we're just a few months away from that. Right? 0313, it's going to be 23. So 30 years ago almost was the last big upset like that, with the crowd so into it. A dude that can literally fucking hold his own weight. In just a moment. It was just the right time and moment. That's what made the 1, 2, 3 kid and Scott Hall thing so special. It wasn't just how it unfolded, how the finish turned out, what happened. It was the magic. It was the right moment, the right crowd, the right time, the right people. And it just felt like that situation last night. You can't create that sometimes. That's just lightning in a bottle magic. Action Andretti made last night. And the word that we're getting is Jericho had this in mind for a while now. He saw a match, I think it was with QT Marshall or something to do with the factory. And Jericho decided at that moment that he wanted to make him a star. And the plan was kind of set in motion. So this has been in the works for a little bit now. And it looks like Jericho is going to take some time off, right? He dropped the title, the ROH title, over to Claudio. He loses this match. That was the best part, too. Before the match, he's like, and now I got to go beat a jobber. He literally said the words, I got to go beat a jobber. And then the jobber beats him. So he loses to this jobber Action after losing the ROH title. It looks like, he is a locker room leader now, the locker room leader. Maybe he's going to take on a much bigger behind-the-scenes role or take a much-needed vacation or a mixture of both. I mean, he did allude in his promo last night that people need to start learning from Sammy Guevara. We'll see, man. Action Andretti is on the scene. And afterwards, like Tony always does when somebody gets a victory, afterwards Tony says, welcome to All Elite Wrestling. X, Y, or Z is All Elite. You saw that with fucking Fox, with AR Fox. He wins a match and then Fox is All Elite. Action Andretti wins a match. Action Andretti is All Elite. How many wrestlers can Tony Khan fucking hire? You gotta put a cap on him, man. It's too fucking much. You're gonna need a nightly show, 3 hours every night, to put this talent on. You have so much talent waiting at home just trying to get a storyline. Waiting by the fucking phone. And so many it's almost like Tony Khan is just a kid playing with toys. I mean, this guy doesn't get a sense where, dude, just look at who you have and let's start rocking, man. Next up, Ruby Soho defeats Ty Mello with the No Future finisher. This match had a story and some history behind it, not just a thrown-together women's match. Crazy concept. Ty is great, and now let's just give Ruby some direction. What do you say? Right? After the match, Anna Jay attacks Soho post-match, and, I mean, that's pretty clear that this isn't exactly finished. But Ruby's going to need a direction for people to really latch onto her, and I think she deserves that, man. And I think Ty should get a little bit more credit than what she's... Her and Sammy get so much heat and hate, man. It is insane how much people despise them. Ever since they started making out on camera, people have just turned on them so bad. I don't think we fully appreciate Ty, man. She's such a good heel. Ricky Starks versus MJF is the main event. MJF defeats Starks. Not many notes needed here. Nothing really to say. Good fucking match. Good in-story work between both dudes. MJF, obviously the right call here. There's no way Starks, as much as he's coming into his own, we love Ricky Starks, there's no way MJF is dropping this. There was some fucking, obviously, heelish cheatery and trickery at the end of this thing. Everything went off without a hitch. I thought it was brilliantly done. Post-match, Danielson chases off MJF. MJF run. He didn't even... I think at one point he thought he's going to jump over the barricade. And then he just said, I'm running through the fucking barricade. Runs up the fucking... up the stands. And Danielson's in hot pursuit. I thought that was a funny way to end the show. So... all in all, man, top to bottom, it was actually a decent Dynamite. The problem is they've been struggling in the ratings to even get 900,000 recently, and pro wrestling has had a rougher week. Ratings-wise, on screen, and then all the stories behind the scenes. It's been a harsh week or 2 weeks for pro wrestling. I don't know if they're going to crack 1 million with this. This was a big Winter Is Coming pay-per-view-ish type of an event. A lot of fucking marketing went into this and whatnot. So I'm sure Tony's hoping to crack at least 1 million. But I'm sure if you could pull 950,000 on this show, that's a minor victory. I do think 950 would be awesome. There's no way they want to drop under 900 with Winter Is Coming, and I think this did enough to go over 900. We'll see, man. But top to bottom, at least, at the bare minimum, this was a decent show for sure. Guys, BC will be with you. Any breaking news, man, or any situational... any situational event with great magnitude behind it, anything to do with Mandy Rose, Vince McMahon, any big shift in the ratings, anything like that, BC will absolutely hit you guys with another video, even if it's today. So always stay subbed and notified. Obviously, I'm going to have memberships up hopefully by the end of the day, so check the channel for memberships. Maybe they're already up. Join. Red team, become the gold team status, and we're going to rock this shit out. Till next time, guys. BC, Top Guy, saying, check you. Think, be, live, amped always. Top Guy, I'm out.